Hello and welcome to this brief tutorial on Excel. In this video I just want to show you some basics, make sure you understand the basic concepts so that we can build on those. If you don't understand those concepts, you'll probably be lost for the rest of the semester and you'll just be typing things in and hoping it gets done and not really understanding why you typed in what you did or how it actually works. So I really want you to understand how it works so that when you're out in the workforce and they ask you to do something, you'll be able to do that. So what I've got open here is Excel. And one of the first things you need to know is that when you type in text, it's left aligned, and when you type in numbers, it's right aligned. If you type in text that's bigger than the cell that it's in, it goes ahead and spreads across to the next cell. Now, if something comes in that cell, then you can see this gets truncated. And you can come up here and double click. That automatically widens the column. And you can widen it yourself if you want to the widest thing that's in there right now. The other thing I want to show you is, let's say we have some numbers. And we'll put them in here, and we'd like to sum those numbers over here. So I'm going to paint this a nice little shade of green. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Go back to the text color and put the background color green. And so on. And I'll do this. I'm going to highlight all that. I'm going to press Control C, and then I'm going to do Control V. Now, in order to build a formula to add these two numbers in this column G and column I, and I want to put it here, I'm going to just use the point method. I'm going to press the equal sign, then I'm going to come over here. I'm on G4, then I'm going to hold the shift key and hit the plus sign, then I'm going to paint here. Okay, so that means it's using G4 plus I4. What's nice about this in Excel is if I do Control C, come down here and Control V, I've just copied the formula down again. Notice that the formula in this cell, to get this dotted line off, I just hit escape, is G5 plus I5. So this is called relative addressing. And relative addressing means that in this formula, relative to this formula, I want to add the cells to the direct left of it, 5, and then 3, and put it here. If I copy it down, it's going to do it relative again. This new formula then is the same location of here plus here and the sum there. If I do that again and I paste it here, you can see that I get the same values. Now the nice thing about spreadsheets is that if I change a value in a cell that has been used in a formula, it automatically updates the formula. But let's say I wanted to add 2 to the sum of everything, and I put it in this cell. So I could edit this and hit plus this value. Right. I'm going to do Control C, Control V. Since this is all relative, it's saying add the values 5 to the left, 3 to the left, and 1 cell above, and this next 2 to the left, 1 cell above. That's exactly what it did here. It added this one, and that one, right? J4. That's not what we want to happen. We want to just make sure this 2 stays fixed in our formula. So in order for it to stay fixed in the formula, I need to put $ signs around the column number and the row number. And if you haven't figured it out by now, the column number and the row number intersection tells me what cell that I'm working on. All right, so J3 says stay fixed. So now you see that it's G5 plus I5 plus this value. And I can copy this formula down again. All right, so that's the big thing behind spreadsheets, is that once you figure out a formula and you want to do the same thing to columns or rows next to something, it's easy to do. That's what you want to do. And now if I were to change that, notice all my formulas get updated by that one cell. All right, so that's the difference between relative and absolute addressing. Now you could have mixed addressing. And mixed addressing is where you only have a $ in front of one of the values. So if I hit F4, that puts it in two places. If I press F4 again, it puts it in front of the row. If I press F4 again, it's in the front of the column. If I press it again, it'd be back to relative addressing. So using the F4 key is a lot easier than having to hunt for that $ and get it into the right location. Okay. So I've entered some information here, and let's say we've got a spreadsheet and we want to model our inventory. We've got the quantity on hand, the price, we've got hard drives, disks, mice, keyboards. Here's how many we have, here's the price. Let's say we want to know the value of our inventory. Well, quantity times price tells us the value of hard drives, and so all I need to do is build a formula that says equals this times this, and then I just need to copy it down and grab that little handle you saw there, and it automatically gives me the correct formulas. I would suggest you always look at the last formula and maybe something in the middle, make sure it's doing exactly what you want it to do, that you've typed the formula correctly. Okay, so the other thing that you need to understand about spreadsheets is the concept of a range. And a range is one cell or a group of cells arranged in a rectangular fashion. So one cell can be arranged, and you can apply formatting to that. A range can also be a block of cells. So it could be just one column, or a range could be a row, or a range can be a row and a couple of columns. And we can apply formatting to that. What I mean by that is if I highlight this, I know this should be numeric. So let's give this accounting format 2 places. Since this should be numeric or accounting as well, we're going to highlight that. Now you just watch me do it twice in 2 columns. If I knew I needed to do it in 2 columns, I could have easily have done that and set a different formatting. Okay? So a range is a cell or group of cells arranged in a rectangular fashion. So it might be that I want to do a sum. Well, over here I've got this automatic function that's sitting there, and I can use that, and there's a whole bunch of functions right here underneath the formulas tab. Right, all these are different functions. Functions and formulas use ranges. So if you understand that, then I can put a range inside of that function. So if I go back to the Home tab and I hit the auto sum, it tries to guess, what are you trying to sum? Is it a row or is it a column? So in this case, it was a column. Notice the range it put in there, F11 to F15. So a range is designated inside these formulas as the upper left-hand corner and the lower right-hand corner. Since we're in the same column here, that's why it's F. If I hit enter, notice the formatting comes with it and it gives me now the sum. Notice this range would be D11 to D14. So for some strange reason, let's say I wanted to do that sum. If I didn't like that, for this automatic thing to pop up, I'm going to click here just to show you that that's how it's the upper left-hand corner, this point, and this point. So if I know these 2 points, I can get a rectangle out of it. That's why the definition of a range is a cell or a group of cells arranged in a rectangular fashion. All right, so if we hit enter, it would give us a value. It really has no meaning, so I'm going to hit delete. But those are some of the basic things you need to understand about spreadsheets. How numbers appear on the screen, how labels appear on the screen, what is relative addressing, what's absolute addressing, and what a range is. And the ranges are used inside formulas and functions, and we can also apply formatting to that. So let's say I wanted all my numbers to be a nice blue background, and I wanted these labels to be a nice, say, orange background. So I've just applied formatting to these ranges. And typically you don't apply formatting until you're done with your spreadsheet calculations. And that ends this brief little tutorial.